welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
And remember, our goal is always to guide you to personal and financial wellness.
Well, we say this every week, how excited we are for the second half of the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. Always the best half. Well, I don't know. Lou was pretty good in this first half, talking about how he can help you structure your business or help you with the Chapter 13, Chapter 7, help you keep your home, so much more. Check out Lou Esbin at esbinlaw.com, ESBIN law.com. Good dude. We've been working with forever, part of America's professional resource group. And to close out our show, we're going to talk with a very handsome, very dynamic young man that we've had on the show before and backed by popular demand, Mr. Taylor Kellstrom. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm
Hey,
happy
we
to be
bring
here.
some youth into the studio, Don.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even younger than you, puppy.
Yeah.
He does all the old jokes on me and stuff. So.
I don't even
I don't
fall
even
into
get
the
to do
youth
fat
thing
jokes
anymore.
I used to do fat jokes. I can't
You
even
can
do
still
those
do
anymore.
bald jokes.
So, Taylor, you've been keeping super busy.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna have to jump on the age thing because some people are gonna say, "Oh, but you've been around real estate literally since you were in diapers."
Yeah.
So, I mean, your dad has been one of the most dynamic real estate professionals in this town, owned half the town, been heavily involved, but you know real estate.
Yeah.
You live it, breathe it, and it makes a difference.
Absolutely. You know,
Is it-
my whole life growing up, you know, I knew what escrow was at 7 years old. You know,
Yeah.
you know, my dad would have me in the car. We got to go to escrow and do this and that. And I actually look back now like, wow, I actually knew what that was when I was so young. So it was really cool, though, to be around that and experience that.
Yeah.
So you find that you're able to still lean on all those early years today, not from the standpoint of, oh, I remember my dad had to solve this problem, but just from hearing it and
Exactly.
being it and the osmosis of it, right?
Exactly. And even like working with people that he used to work with back in the day, it makes it a lot easier, especially when you're making, you know, new connections and things like that. It, you know, from title to, you know, home warranty and things like that, it definitely makes a difference.
Yeah, when you're putting together your team, so to speak, you
Exactly.
have a lot to lean on.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to make sure I get us more listeners right now because Taylor and I share something that's totally cool.
You can talk about that. It's fine. You can talk about that. That's
yeah,
good.
but maybe we got a couple people that are listening, you know, but Taylor and I both come from racing professional motocross.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, you got pretty far up there, buddy. You were doing good.
Yeah, you know, it's really crazy how it all happened, you know, growing up. I started kind of late. I started at 9 years old learning how to ride, and people think that's young, but normally at 3 years old is when most of these people start. And I fell in love with it, you know. My parents had me doing everything, basketball, football, all that, and it got to a point where it's so overwhelming. They told me, you need to choose one, and I chose racing. And
How do you not, right?
exactly. There's just something about it, you know, when you're flying and you're racing, that competitiveness of even, you know, you're trying to pass somebody and you run them high in a corner. And I mean, don't
The
get me wrong, they
adrenaline.
get you back too, but there's just something about it that's super fun. And, you know, I went professional at 18. It didn't last too long, unfortunately. I got hurt too many times, and at 19 and a half, I decided to retire. I didn't want to, but a great opportunity had kind of taken place. While I was rehabbing my knee, I was out 8 months. I went to the local college, College of the Canyons, and I kind of picked up what the local bookstore or the campus bookstore was doing. So I went and put a business plan together and found some investors, and I got an off-campus textbook store opened out here.
Yep.
That was more affordable for college students, and started doing better at that than than racing. So when the time came that I was healed up, I was like, yeah, I'm done with that.
We
know.
started making money.
Exactly, you know, and a lot less dangerous. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm feeling it now. I'm 28 now, and my body, there's days where it's sore. It's definitely sore.
See, we can't talk about that. I got twice your age, literally, and 35 broken bones for the same sport, so it doesn't get better.
That's not what I want to hear.
No, but no,
yeah,
it's
I get
actually,
it.
know what it does do, though, is the reason I even brought up that you were racing professional motors. To get to that level of any sport at a professional level takes huge amount of dedication
Absolutely.
and drive and will, and I've
Don't
never...
forget the other D word, probably the most important one: discipline.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's a good point. And it does carry with you in whatever you do.
I agree
Because we know how
100%.
hard we had to work, how often we had to train, and how brutal the weekends were, and the competition and all that. So that now when we have our work ethic, I could say,
Yes.
is nothing. I mean, literally, he knows, and Gino's got it too because he's a racer too. And go-karts, though.
Things with 4 wheels.
all
I
right.
like things with 2 wheels. I just wasn't allowed on them.
But
very
I'm just
much.
saying that dedication carries through in that work ethic, and you have a drive. You're doing so much. You started your own bookstore at 19, 20 years old, and now you're president of the Circle of Hope out here.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. When I was 21 years old, I did a bowling event for Children's Hospital. I was a
I
patient
remember
there
that.
as a kid.
Yep.
I was airlifted there at 10 years old, and they're a big reason why I'm here. So when I was 21, I was like, I want to do like a fundraiser, a charity thing for them. So we put this bowling event together, and we sold out. And
Yep.
we've been doing it every year since, so we're going on our 7th year now. But it was so neat because the first year we did it, I ended up getting nominated for Santa Clarita Man of the Year.
I know.
And I met a lot of awesome people at the banquet, and Circle of Hope was someone that wanted to meet with me. And I was a little nervous, I won't lie, and I was at 22 at the time, and I met with them. And my uncle had passed away when I was young from colon cancer. So cancer runs in our family, and it's affected our family. And I really loved what they were doing at Circle of Hope. So they asked me, I joined the board, and I've been with the board now the last 6 years, and just last year became president, and just really enjoy helping and doing the things that we do over at Circle of Hope. And for anyone that doesn't know, we're basically a nonprofit cancer organization. We service 7 different cancers, and some of the things that we'll do is we'll go in and negotiate clients' bills down,
that's
or we
cool.
cover their COBRA insurance. We offer, support group, just different things like that. But in the last year, our team over at Circle of Hope, we've worked really hard, and we're introducing the first cancer wellness center out here in Santa Clarita called Hope's Haven.
Wow.
And our ribbon cutting thing's coming up actually pretty soon on the 27th of February, and it's something that's going to really change the dynamic of what we do. We've been pretty good on the financial end of supporting people, and we've had our support group, but we wanted to take it even farther than that on an emotional level. So basically, we have our group support system in there, but when you walk in, you go to most of these support groups, it's kind of like in a doctor's office or thing like that. We made the entire room look just like a living room. So it's a very warm feeling, and that's why we chose Hope's Haven Cancer Wellness Center as the name. It's more of a warm and inviting feeling. It's a really a scary time for most people.
Yes.
And to be able to lean on and not feel like you're just going into a doctor's
Clinical,
office.
yeah.
Exactly. So we wanted to really make that happen, and we're going to have different classes as far as we'll have an acupuncture class going on, a yoga class going on, massage therapy, one-on-one therapy, all these different things that we're going to be able to offer through our wellness center that are going to be completely free too.
Well, the emotional side, because we've been heavily involved in the Hoffman Foundation for Children's Cancer,
Yes.
so we know, and we've seen, literally, it's the families here in Santa Clarita and Alabama, and we've seen how it affects families.
Absolutely.
And how dramatic it is, and how traumatic it is for not just the person who has cancer, but the entire family. So for you guys to give even an emotional support is almost more important than the financial support in some ways.
I mean, it's definitely a scary time, and even though I was young, I was 8 years old when my uncle passed away. I still remember, going to the doctors and seeing him there at the hospital and things like that. And I wish that something like this was around for my family when we were all going through that. And unfortunately, cancer doesn't just affect the person who has it; it affects friends, family, coworkers. It's a really scary and confusing time for a lot of people, and especially with the different stages and all that. And for us to be able to offer these programs and things like that out here in Santa Clarita for people who live, work, or are treated in Santa Clarita is something that we've wanted to do for a long time, and we've taken the last year and really just boots on the ground and dived into making this happen. And it's really exciting to have it finally here and finally opening up and finally doing these things. It's truly a remarkable thing, and how much help you get from people in the community. We could not do this without a lot of people's help, from donating furniture to, even the landlord that we're at, they renovated the entire space for us and didn't charge us anything.
Awesome.
And all of that. It really goes a long way, and it's cool to see people in Santa Clarita really give back to one another and lean on one another. And it's a very unique community that we live in out here, I'd say, compared to others.
Sure.
You have people that are
Absolutely.
very into giving back and helping others, and that's super important in life. Life isn't just about making money and closing real estate deals or selling textbooks, or there's so much more to it than just that aspect. And if you're in a position in life to give back and help someone who's not as fortunate, you're very blessed, and we're just very blessed to be in a position to be able to do these things.
Well, and you walk the walk, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it. Got to go to a break,
No
but
worries.
we're really proud of you and what you're putting together.
Thank
So we'll tie it up with a bow when we come right back to the Don
Fantastic.
and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. Don't go away. Last segment coming up.